Welcome, everyone, to a November reading by the fabulous Way Off Broadway Players. We are a group of your friends and neighbors who get together to read plays and do monologues and improv exercises. What we do is play together. We ask that you check your phones now and put them on silent or off. We have a substitute today for our opening piece. Daniel Langmeyer is playing Stacy. We will begin with a play about finding plays to bring to our audience. And then our readers will take you through some dramas in a wide variety of modern lives. So sit back and enjoy.
Okay, wow.
Gosh, what about, yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah, I think that's the funniest thing we've read so far.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Too bad. It's completely inappropriate.
Oh, yes, totally inappropriate.
Oh no, we can't use this one.
Absolutely not.
Okay, let's look at this one again. Was anything wrong with it?
I don't remember this one.
I think it's the one about the man with the kangaroo.
Oh, that was funny.
I don't know though. It might upset some people for the ethical treatment of animals.
Oh, yeah, right. The animal rights thing.
Absolutely.
How about this one?
Well, I don't remember this one.
Isn't this the one that makes the ballerinas really look stupid?
Oh,
Yeah, we have some audience members with little granddaughter ballerinas.
yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Can't use it.
This one?
Oh, no, it's insensitive to morticians.
How about this one?
Oh, that's insensitive to stockbrokers.
Well, how about this one? I thought it was cute.
Cute? With that word in it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe we could change it.
Don't really think so. It wouldn't make any sense without that word.
No, it really doesn't.
No, absolutely not.
This one was good.
Insulting to truck drivers?
Oh, yeah. Well, how about this next one?
Sexist.
Ageist.
Xenophobic.
How about this one? What was wrong with it?
I don't remember it.
Well, I have a note here on my copy. It says in capital letters, not funny.
Not funny?
Yeah, now I remember. It's really not funny.
It's actually pretty stupid.
Absolutely not funny.
Not funny, gosh. And this one?
Well, it's very insensitive to Zoroastrians.
That's true.
Listen, folks, is it possible we're taking this politically correct thing just a little too far? I mean, if we're so worried about offending anyone, we'll end up with nothing at all.
Well, I have to say that I find that remark pretty hurtful and triggering.
Yeah. We all just try to be respectful of other people's feelings.
Maybe we should just apologize up front for anything that we might do that might offend anybody.
I think we just did. All right.
almost the bride of Dracula.
Good evening. Or is it? I've been having such problems with this watch. But where was I? Oh, yes, welcoming you to the world of Dracula, a world of shadow, passion, intrigue. I advise you of this now, for the faint of heart, the indecisive, and the timid have no place here.
Dracula.
Oh, Mother, you're going to give me a heart attack. I'm only 580 years old, and I'm going to have a genuine, legitimate king-size heart attack.
Please, don't get dramatic. Give me your cape. I'm putting a load in the washing machine. And what have I told you about candles in here?
I needed some light.
So what's wrong with the light switch?
So I'm a romantic.
Is it any wonder this old head of mine is gray?
Your wig is gray, Mother. Your hair is jet black. I don't know why you wear that stupid thing.
Because gray hair is how I feel. Until you're married, until you find a nice girl and settle down, gray is how I feel.
I told you, I'll get married someday.
When
Someday.
you're 580 years old, you think you're gonna live forever?
Mother, I'm looking. What do you want me to do? I can't marry just anybody.
Forget it. I'm sorry I brought it up. I won't mention it again.
Thank you.
You don't want me to have grandchildren. That's what it is.
I'd love you to have grandchildren.
Sure, talk is cheap. Why don't you do something about it?
All right, I'll check around and see if there's a place where maybe you could adopt grandchildren. How would that be?
Look at your friends. Mrs. Frankenstein. Her son gave her grandchildren. Mrs. Wolfman. Her son gave her grandchildren. Mrs. Dracula. What did her son give her? Gray hair, that's what.
Ah, mothers. But where was I? Oh, yes, welcoming you to the world of Dracula. You know, she drives me crazy with this marriage stuff. Then she wonders, why don't I visit more often? If she only knew the number of girls I made an effort to get to know. It may be that I am not destined to take a bride, yet I believe that someone there is that ideal woman, that woman of tenderness, of compassion, who I will eventually find and who will turn out to me and say,
This ridiculous looking tree in your apartment has to go.
I told you, Mother, it's a memento.
Memento, pimento, demento. It's an eyesore.
Very well, I do not choose to discuss it.
I don't want you to discuss it. I want you to get rid of it.
If you don't mind, Mother, I would like to be alone with my thoughts.
That could get pretty lonely for you, couldn't it? Here, take off that shirt and those pants. I'm putting another load in.
If I wash my clothes as often as you wash them, I'd have to get a new wardrobe every 100 years or so.
Do you want to go around looking like your old friend Jack the Ripper? It's bad enough that I don't have grandchildren. The least you can do is look neat and clean for me.
Yeah.
Besides, if you had a wife, I wouldn't have to do this.
I told you, someday.
I only tell you these things for your own good.
I know, Mother.
Because I care about you. I love you.
I love you too.
Do you?
Yes, Mother.
Then get rid of this tree.
If I could only talk with her, it might help her to understand my position as far as finding a bride is concerned. But Mother will never know about that, about Lisa, lovely Lisa, and how I was drawn to her like a moth to a flame, like a bee to a flower, like a fly to a trash can. But even Lisa held only a false hope for me, even though all the ingredients seemed to be there. The surf, the sand, Except on this one, there was Lisa. You're even lovelier in the moonlight, Lisa.
Oh, Count, but you've only seen me in the moonlight. Why don't you come down to the beach and play volleyball with us tomorrow?
It's not for me.
Oh, you sound just like my first husband.
First husband?
Willard. He didn't like the beach either, but he agreed to take me to the islands for our honeymoon because I loved them so.
And?
I finally talked him into lying on the beach. It was the first day of our honeymoon when he was hit by the tidal wave.
Tidal wave?
Poor Willard. They said it was extremely localized. There were people all around him, and he was the only one washed out to sea. I suppose when your time comes, your time comes.
I suppose. But let's talk about you, about us.
I love your swimsuit.
I bought it tonight at the gift shop.
Then that does it. You simply must come to the beach tomorrow.
Let's compromise. Bring a bucket of sand and come to my room tomorrow.
You're a very tempting man.
I'll be honest with you, Lisa. You move something in me. I know myself, and these feelings are very real.
I'm flattered.
Don't be flattered. Be mine. I want you with me, Lisa.
Count, what are you saying?
I know we're of two different worlds, but it could work between us, Lisa.
But we hardly know each other.
We know enough. We know that we're drawn to each other irresistibly. We know that we thrill to each other's touch. And we know we both detest country and Western music.
Oh, Count.
Have I said something to hurt you?
Oh, it's just that country and Western makes me think of my second husband.
Second husband?
Mortimer. He always loved that kind of music.
Hey, to each his own. I didn't mean any harm.
Well, neither did Mortimer. He was hit from behind by a bolt of lightning on the 13th green. He wound up a tiny cinder on that golf course.
I can see I brought up the wrong subject again.
Oh, I don't mean to burden you with my sad stories.
Don't be silly. I want to know all about you, and especially about any other husbands of yours who met with violent deaths.
Isn't it odd, Dracula, how cruel fate can be?
Don't do this to yourself, Lisa. Let's think of the future, of our possible life together.
Well, it is true that you have a certain effect on me, Count Dracula.
How pleased I am to hear it.
You have a way about you, a dark charm.
I've already confessed my feelings for you.
Could it really be? Is there a chance for us to know happiness together?
We can, we will. You're the only woman capable of making my world complete.
Oh, Count.
Lisa, to live without you would be torture.
Torture?
What is it?
Oh, my third husband.
He was tortured?
And killed in the Amazon on our honeymoon.
My poor darling, you have had such bad luck with husbands.
Yes, and they have had bad luck with me. What if I'm a jinx?
Never say that, my love. Never. That kind of thinking can poison your life.
Poison? Oh.
Don't tell me your fourth husband
Leo.
poisoned?
I didn't know mayonnaise could spoil so quickly.
It's all right, Lisa. Everything will be all right.
I'm a jinx, aren't I?
Of course you're not. Please, relax. Calm down.
Oh, Dracula, that coconut could have killed you. How bizarre.
Especially since it's a banana tree.
Oh no, it feels like the start of a hurricane. Let's hurry before we get soaked, or worse.
You go ahead. I'll be along. Some would say a tree like this nearly killed me. I take the opposite view. It may well have saved my life. Considering that Lisa's previous husbands were drowned, electrocuted, tortured, and poisoned, I can only look back on our time together as well spent, comparatively speaking. Perhaps it is one of life's mysteries. One or twice there have been women who made me gaga, Becky was one. Becky was something so special, something I could have really gotten my teeth into.
Why, you naughty boy. You're
I've-
half an hour late.
I've already suffered enough, my love, at the hands of an idiot cab driver who caused my tardiness.
Well, I guess that meant no tip for him.
On the contrary, it meant the tip of my sword through his chest.
I love it when you talk like that, you wild foreigner. That's enough.
Perhaps for you.
No, you must behave. Tonight, you're going to meet my mama.
You told her about me?
Why, yes. She said you sound disgusting.
Becky, you didn't tell her about.
Well, what if I did? Don't you ever tell me what I can and can't say. Do you understand?
I'm a pushover for women with spunk. Sometimes they try my patience.
I know. It's one of the things you love about me.
Oh, my tempestuous Becky.
Now, I told you, Dracula, you must behave.
And exactly how should I behave for your mama?
Just relax. My mama's no different than any other millionaire Texas rancher.
You're quite wrong, my love. She happens to be the mother of the woman who shall become the bride of Dracula.
Yes, yes. Just do me a favor and act normally.
For you, anything.
Hello, Mama.
Becky, dear.
What a pleasure to meet Becky's mother. Such a lovely and intelligent girl. You must be very proud of her.
Count Dracula's from Transylvania, Mama. Would you believe he's never even seen a longhorn before?
Well, of course, Becky. Longhorns are strictly native to Texas. Matter of fact, we're having a roundup tomorrow if you care to join us.
Thank you so much, but I find your Texas son a bit strong for my liking.
The truth is, he's just an incurable indoors man.
Well, then you'll have to come to one of our barbecues at least. We can have that indoors. You might find it interesting to learn something about our operation. How we slaughter, for example, if you don't mind the sight of blood.
Blood? I'd love a drink. I'd love to think about it. Thank you.
Isn't he adorable, Mama? Not at all like the crude farm boys around here.
Becky,
Yes, you'll make poor Count Dracula blush, although he could use a little color.
Never you mind, Mama. You just don't like the idea of a son-in-law who's a little pasty looking.
Son-in-law? Count Dracula, what type of work do you do?
Oh, he does excellent work. I can vouch for that.
well,
Or you could say he's into coffins.
actually, I spend a great deal of time directing the affairs of my family estate.
Family estate.
Yes,
Are your holdings in oil?
no,
Steel?
no,
Land?
no.
Excuse me a moment. He's out of work. A deadbeat. Figures. What to do? Well, 3 years ago, she brought home that rodeo rider. I told her I couldn't stand him. She spent 8 months bumming around the country. Then last year, she came home with that no-good used car salesman. I said I'd disown her if she saw him again. They opened up a dealership together. Ah, well, I suppose there's only one thing to do. Nice meeting you, Count, and wish you both all the luck in the world.
Mama, we're going to be married.
Congratulations.
I mean, we're leaving for Transylvania tonight.
Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
Maybe you don't understand me. I'm marrying Count Dracula.
Send me a snapshot of the grandchildren. Bye.
I don't believe it.
I knew she wouldn't try to stop us. Our love was meant to be.
I don't believe it.
I shall make you happier than you have ever been.
Keep your clammy hands off me, bozo.
Becky,
If you get back to Texas sometime, call me.
your sense of humor sometimes misses the mark, I'm afraid.
As long as we're being brutally honest, I hope I never see your sickly complexion again. Man, you could join a rock group or something. After all, a rock is what you climbed out from under, isn't it?
Becky's problem, of course, was her tendency to leave you uncertain of her true feelings, which is unfortunate because of that trait is the one I can tolerate least. Now it is time to move on, to think ahead, to consider only one question.
Dracula, do you have enough clean underwear?
I am completely prepared, Mother. I will see you again in the near future.
Do you have enough money?
The least of my concerns.
I don't want you to get stuck in Vienna with no money again.
I must depart.
Well, I'll be here just sitting and waiting and hoping.
If it happens that you become a grandmother, you'll be the first to know.
I'm sorry if I nag you too much about getting married.
It's all right. That's what mothers are for.
We're still pals?
Certainly.
Good. Then I can give you this. Read it when you get a minute.
Computer dating of Transylvania?
Well, what could it hurt?
Thanks, but I don't believe in that kind of thing. I'm a romantic, remember?
Dress warmly.
Her heart's in the right place. Sometimes I wish I could find a girl like the one who married dear old Dad.
All right. So he doesn't have much luck with girls. Look at him. He's such a nice boy. If only he'd get a haircut. Haircut, haircut. Dracula, wait. Maybe if you got a haircut, you could meet someone who was more your type.
Wow, I see
Now we will
the whole
hear-
echo.
Now we will hear 3 monologues.
That's just me. Okay.
Ready? Go. All right. Marie, 60s to 80s, makes a confession to a police officer. I can explain everything, officer. I just need a cup of tea first, if you'd be so kind. I really should have taken my tablets beforehand, but, well, it was a full moon, and I was in a hurry. A full moon is the best time, you know. You see, I live near a bridge, and I hate to see historic places vandalized, especially when it's so stupid. In our day, graffiti was political. Votes for women. Make love, not war. Nowadays, it's just an inane scribble. Tomcats marking their territory. They've got nothing to say. So why bother? Of course, I've written to the council. All they say is that it's not our property. What can we do? Well, I decided to show them what they can do. For 6 months, I've been cleaning it off, but then it comes back, even cruder than before. That's what happens when you give them a blank slate. So I decided not to. Nobody questions an old lady with spray paint. It's quite easy, really. I'm what you might call sprightly. And I've got plenty to say. I have paid my taxes all my working life. I've worked in high-powered jobs in government. I've raised a family and looked after my aged parents. And what do I do in return? I'm dismissed, ignored, and patronized. So yes, I admit it, It was me. Old Lives Matter is written on every bridge, fence, wall, and of course, the town hall. It made the front page of the local paper, you know. Mystery tagger. Go ahead, charge me, throw me in the slot, put me in the cooler, the clink. It'll be quite a sensation.
The Comeuppance of Flame La Quench by Terrell Paiste. Flame's 70-year-old cousin cannot suppress jealousy as she lists the many men in Flame's life. The irritating thing about my cousin Flame was the way she always did everything wrong in life, like keeping the name Flame, for pity's sake, instead of marching herself straight down to Judge Basil's chambers just as soon as her parents were decently dead, and demanding a normal name. I mean, you just know that anybody with a name like Flame La Quench is going to wind up face down in the gutter with a knife in her back. I told her so when we were off together at Miss Tarwater's finishing school, but she didn't listen, never, which is almost as irritating as the way she kept making those disastrous mistakes in life and then waltzing away without having to pay for them. It's enough to make you doubt the existence of God. Her first husband was a truck driver, you know. Used to drive from here to Peoria, Illinois, with the windows rolled down in the dead of winter, singing at the top of his lungs. Rumor had it he was carrying on with some woman up north, and I know for a fact he spent every penny Flame had. Oh, she was in a sorry state, until he drove his truck off the dinky little bridge into 40 feet of water and left her a widow with nothing but a mouthful of regrets and a lottery ticket in his wallet worth $18 million. It was soggy, but they cashed it anyway. She met her second husband in Rome, Italy. He was a chemist, Turkish or Armenian or something else not right, and I'm not exactly sure how he died. Probably something to do with those medical experiments he was working on, the papers said. Anyhow, they buried him in London, though Lord knows why. He could barely speak English, I'm told. And you will never, never guess who came to his funeral. Angela Lansbury, the Prince of Wales, and the Vice President of the United States. Of course, attending funerals is his job, isn't it? I would have gone myself if I'd known the little foreigner won the Nobel Prize. So then Flame moved to New York City and got involved with her third wrong choice, a convict serving 20 years for kidnapping. They wrote letters back and forth for 6 months without ever laying eyes on each other, till one day she gets herself all gussied up, drives down to the state penitentiary in that Cadillac of hers, and marries him just like that. Did you ever? When he gets out, I warned her, he's going to strangle you in your sleep, and then you'll listen to me. But he got himself shot full of holes in the big escape attempt, and Flame never had to worry. Oh no, not Flame. She just bundled up all her letters to her jailbird husband and his letters to her and published them in that tacky book, The Kidnapped Heart, which I absolutely refuse to read. And oh my Lord, the movie was even worse. Flame doesn't look anything like Marilyn Monroe.
All right, go on. Anytime. Sorry. Ask Aunt Polly by Terrell Paste. Aunt Polly, a 70-year-old radio talk show host, responds to a listener's plea for romantic help. I hope all my loyal listeners in Radioland are paying close attention because I'm feeling especially wise and wonderful today. Lucky you, and lucky Mrs. Janice Dusing, who writes, Dear wise and wonderful Aunt Polly, ever since my husband turned 65, he's been acting skittish, kind of like a roving tomcat, if you get my meaning. I don't know whether to seek medical help from a regular doctor or a psychiatrist. What do you think? Aunt Polly doesn't think, dear. Aunt Polly knows. In fact, my friend Trudy had a similar problem when her husband turned 65, and she too sought medical help in the form of a discount veterinarian who specialized in no-frills vasectomies. This vet fixed Trudy's husband and Trudy's cat at the same time for a flat $7. For an extra 50 cents, he would even have used anesthetic. But Trudy was never one to throw her money away. Oh, well. Sounds like what we've got here is a bad case of PMLC, post-midlife crisis. For those of our listeners who haven't been keeping up, Aunt Polly will fill you in. PMLC is an unearned benefit God bestows on 65-year-old men that allows them to take up with 18-year-old girls and say, with a perfectly straight face, she's very mature for her age. We're reading Walden Pond together. So far, PMLC has been limited to men, which is to say that men get societal approval to act like fools, and women get hot flashes. But if I'm right, and I always am, that is about to change. Mark Aunt Polly's words. The day is coming when Maggie Thatcher will no longer have to deny her healthy lust for Prince Andrew. When she will be able to stand up in front of Parliament and say, unashamed, he's very mature for his age. Any day now, the New England Journal of Medicine is going to reveal the true cause of Margaret Mead's death, that she succumbed after 6 hours of ecstasy in a hot tub with Tom Cruise. That they knew it was 6 hours because they carbon dated her copy of Walden Pond. Consider the possibilities. Jean Kirkpatrick and Eddie Murphy, Dr. Joyce Brothers and Doogie Howser, MD. Not Tarzan and Jane, but Jane and Boy. All this for the mature woman only. Some of those impetuous young men might even buy their lady love her own radio station. Thanks again, Junior. Okay.
In this next piece, playwright Terrence Duncan takes on dating after the age of 50. He premises his arguments on that old saying, marriage is like being a frog in boiling water. You slowly get used to it. It's nearly impossible to maintain positive self-esteem when you're dating after you're 50. I was in a hotel recently, and the bathroom door had a full-length mirror on it. So, as I'm sitting on the toilet, I get to look at myself. Sitting on the toilet. Full frontal view with my underpants down around my ankles, big belly bulging out, and bed hair a-raging. That's not me. That's not the image I have of myself. I'm the guy who wears ties and goes on business trips. I'm the cool guy in the Das Ecke commercial who doesn't always have a drink in his hand. The mirror was right in front of the commode. What kind of sadistic underwear model would design a bathroom like that? To be fair, though, I think it's even harder for women. They have to deal with the whole change of life thing. I've had more than one woman tell me about how they feel like their value to society is gone once they can no longer have children. How men don't hold doors for them anymore or buy them drinks, and how they can no longer smile their way out of a traffic ticket. They seem to go out of their way to convince you how unattractive they are. Again, think of the pressure this puts on the guy who's trying to date them. Somehow, you've got to get them feeling good enough about themselves to want to have sex with you. I tell them, listen, I know you're not as attractive as you once were, but I'm willing to drink enough to look past that. The least you can do is drink enough to not care. Actually, I think that's the true value in staying married into old age. When you're loved one a long time, you're having sex with how attractive they used to be, and you hold on to that because you love them. It's kind of like the frog in the boiling water, right? You're used to each other. When you're divorced, you have nothing but the cold here and now. And that's why I'm so bitter. And that's why I don't like dating. And that's why I'm going to go to bed as soon as I get home, which won't be fast enough. That is, of course, unless one of you single ladies out there have had a little too much to drink.
Our last play for today is Customer Service.
Oh. Support. Support. Existing customer. Existing customer. English. George Watkins. Father's name, Harold. Mother's maiden name, Willis. My sister is Shirley. My dog is Sniffles. I weigh 150, 155. Inseam? Inseam? No, that's no. No, I will not. I will not. I want an operator. Operator! Customer service representative. Oh, man. Customer service. Oh, agent. Female. Breathy. Sympathetic. George Watkins.
Hello, Mr. Watkins. My name is Suzanne. How have we hurt you?
Oh, hello, Suzanne. It's nice to talk to a human.
Always, always talk. It's what makes us human. It's what separates us from, don't you agree, Mr. Watkins?
Well, it's just The robot voice, the menus.
Cold and reserved, impersonal, totally dispassionate. How did you get through it, Mr. Watkins?
Call me George.
Oh, George, I will lift you. I will lift you, I say, from the slough of despond. We shall rise together.
You don't say.
I do say, I do, George. What troubles you?
Well, the personal questions.
Oh, the questions. The questions.
The robot voice asked me some very personal.
About your body?
Yes,
Measurements and whatnot.
yes, the whatnot.
Piss on it, George.
Oh,
The robot voice is nothing.
no,
It's not a voice. It's not a voice at all.
no.
It's a steaming poodle turd on the sidewalk of life, George.
Well, it's just that when it asked for measurements
Yes,
on my body,
yes, yes.
measurements,
How dare it?
yes,
We all know.
it's personal.
Yes, 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 George. You've nailed it.
So I refused.
Did you? You refused? So refreshing.
Yes,
You're so refreshing, George. Clean, unspoiled, like a Grandma Moses painting.
well,
And your measurements sound fine to me.
I work out.
George, why have you called?
What?
What's the purpose of your call, George?
Oh, originally.
The origin of your displeasure, George. Let me have it.
Oh, I want to change my package.
George, George, George. If I only had a nickel for every man who told me he wanted to change his package.
Well, the sports package. It's too expensive.
But, George, it gives you so much. The sports package, where else can you get all that?
It's just too expensive.
I know. Hockey's your bailiwick, isn't it, George? You sound to me like a man who likes to follow a puck.
No, baseball, actually.
Ah, the ballpark, the grass, the heat of summer, the acrid taste of warm beer.
Well, at the stadium,
Precisely, George. If we go to the stadium, it becomes, let's face it, strictly a warm beer scenario.
we?
Unless you have a skybox, George. Beluga caviar, Dom by the glass.
No, but at the house,
Precisely, George. At the house, what do we have?
snacks.
Snacks,
Cold beer, the fridge, a big TV.
chips and dips and suds. What else, George?
The sports package.
The sports package, George.
Shit.
It is shit, George.
Without the.
Without the sports package, life is shit.
But I can't afford it.
So, I'm not worth it, George. Is that it?
No. It's just.
Use me up and toss me away, just like you did with Karen Compton.
No, I. Wait. Karen, how did you.
Karen Compton. You just couldn't slide into third base, could you, George?
What? That's. Wait. This is insane.
You're not a closer, are you, George?
Wait.
You keep repeating the same mistakes.
How did you know about that? That's something personal. Something that happened 10 years ago.
I guess.
Look, I don't like this. You shouldn't have personal information like that.
We can't have too much personal information.
No, no, Suzanne. As much as I've enjoyed our talk, I'm going to have to ask to speak to your supervisor.
Him?
Well, yes. I'm sorry, but this kind of thing,
You all stick together, don't you? Sports package discontinues.
no, it's just that,
Okay. I'm sorry I threw Karen Compton in your face. I was hurt. I was wounded. I went for a Hail Mary.
that's football.
I know. This'll be the final straw. With him, this is it for me. My sales are down this quarter, especially the God-forsaken.
Sports package.
Yes.
Okay, look. I'll keep the package.
Would you do that, George?
I'll do that.
George, you'll keep the sports package. You'll keep it, and by God, you'll re-up for another year.
Now, hold on.
You'll re-up in HD, George, 'cause that's the kind of guy you are. No effete beads of caviar for you. No champers, no bubbly. You're a stout and sturdy, chips and brewski kind of guy. You're my kind of guy. God damn it, George, you're my guy.
Damn.
Yes, say it.
Okay, I'm your guy.
Thank you for re-registering the sports package. Will there be anything else?
What?
Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Wait, what about
What about what?
us?
We have a minor league package if you're interested.
Minor?
Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No, I guess not.
Thank you for calling. Bye.
Thank you, Way Off Broadway readers.